Well, we only have 2 more episodes left for Dispatch Season 1. Will there be a Season 2? I hope so. And it's time to talk theories. How's this thing gonna end? I have thoughts. Welcome back, everyone. We're here to talk some of my favorite theories for Dispatch Season 1, the ending, for episodes 7 and 8. I have been playing through over on the live tab and over on twitch.tv/vampex13, so if you'd like to catch me playing Dispatch, I will be playing again this coming Wednesday, these final 2 episodes, and we'll see how we do with these theories. Before we get into this, I want to know, what are your theories? So share them with me down in the comments below. And if we do a follow-up video to this where we go through to see how right or wrong I was with my theories, perhaps I'll shout out some of yours and we can see how right or wrong you were, because that's always fun to revisit. So you probably are wondering, what are these theories you have, Amanda? What do you have up your sleeve? Theories, that's what I got. So I'll start off with this one, which is also pretty great. I have a feeling that who we think our dad is as Mecha Man could be wrong. Here's my theory. I've had it since episode 1, and it is that something happened between Shroud and Astral, and we are going to come back to that. We already know that Shroud killed our dad and was locked away for 15 years. But why did that happen? What was that moment like? I'm wondering if we maybe are going to revisit it here. And I am also wondering if perhaps Shroud took out Astral in self-defense. After all, a really cool thing about Dispatch is how it plays with our idea of what makes a hero. I think a lot about what this story is focusing on is the idea of defining a hero. We have our Z team. Obviously, they are villains who we are trying to turn into heroes here. And my theory is that in that vein, we're going to be playing with the concept of what we think we know. So maybe we think our dad was a hero, and on paper he was, but Shroud actually wanted to get the Astral Pulse to stop Astral from doing something dastardly. Or perhaps Shroud wanted the Astral Pulse to take out the corrupt SDN, and the Red Ring are actually going to be the good guys of the story. That might be kind of crazy, and I don't actually know if SDN was around when our dad was an operating hero, but I am wondering, because SDN kind of seems a little shady, right? Like, they're sending people out to calls, but these people a lot of the times are subscribers, so they pay for this service. It feels a little mercenary-ish of us to be sending out heroes to people who pay a premium, you know? That seems a bit odd to me. And I'm just in general, I think, suspicious of corporations in superhero stories. And honestly, in the world, I think it's fair to be suspicious of corporations. We got some good reasons to do so, you know? My next theory is that the person that you eliminated on the team, whether that was Sonar or Coop, is actually going to be working with the Red Ring. Or, well, I think they're going to end up working with the Red Ring. I think we'll see them basically return again as a villain. Now, that is obviously dependent on who you got rid of as to who you'll see. For me, in my first playthrough, I kept Sonar, so Coop would be the one, I guess, that we would say. My next theory is a doozy, and that is that Shroud has a secret child. But who is it? Well, I think it could be one of 3 options. One, it could be Blonde Blazer. Someone pointed out that Blonde Blazer's blue eyes look a lot like Shroud's blue eyes. In fact, the color is near identical for Shroud's mugshot, which we see quickly in the game. When we see Elliot Connors, he has blue eyes, and to be honest with you, his whole face, his hair color, he looks a lot like Mandy, which is Blonde Blazer's other identity. So I think there could be something up with that. My second option for who it could be is Waterboy, because I think Waterboy kind of looks a little bit like Elliot Connors as well. And he also has blue eyes. You don't get to see them, I think, as clearly because he's got his goggles on usually, but he also has blue eyes. And he also looks a bit similar. And he mentions to us when, at least for me, I revealed myself to be Mecha Man. And in my playthrough, he revealed to me that his name was Herm and that he, was raised by his grandmother. And I'm just wondering, Shroud has been in prison for a while. So it would make sense that when Shroud went away, someone had to step up to raise his child potentially. And possibly that could be Waterboy, who is living with his grandmother, who is Shroud's mom. Or, his mom's mom. We don't talk a lot about mothers in this game, but they might also be doing something. I'm not sure. And then my third option is Invisigal. There's another reason I'm suspicious of her, which is related to another theory, but also her name is revealed to be, when you reveal that you're a Mecha Man, she tells you her name is Courtney. Your name is Robert Robertson the third, and you are a hero as Mecha Man. And her name would then be, if she is Shroud's daughter, Courtney Connors, which plays into, of course, the trope of the alliteration model that is oftentimes used for superheroes. Peter Parker, Robert Robertson, that type of thing. Courtney Connors. I don't know. Am I seeing something where there's nothing? Maybe. But it's a theory. A game. We can't say that, I don't think. I don't want. My next theory is a little bit of a smaller theory. And this one is just that I think Prism could be the traitor, because obviously in the last episode, it seemed that all of the villains showed up like they knew where the location of the astral pulse was all at once. So someone may have shared that information. I am suspicious of Prism just because Prism was recording. Although I will say Prism did look disappointed a little bit, like kind of in herself, honestly, when Blonde Blazer was like, if anyone shares this information, you're going to be in trouble. You're going to have to answer to me. Prism was kind of like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have filmed this. So I don't know. Prism could be the leak in the team. I think there is a leak in the team, and I think if there is a leak, it'll be revealed in these 2 episodes. My next theory is that Chase and Invisigal will have some kind of backstory, and that will actually be shared in episode 7, explaining more why Chase kind of seems to have a personal vendetta against Invisigal, because it does feel that with Vizzy, he really has some beef. Not that beef. That's the cutest beef. If anything happens to that beef, we riot. But I do think that he has some personal vendetta and that there has to be a story there, right? So I think that's going to be revealed. I think this theory is a lot of people's theory that Chase is not going to make it. I was heartbroken in my response to what happened to Chase. I actually synced up with Mecha Man in that moment, and when he said no, I also shouted no, and we became one in that instant. I love games like this where you get to actually play as a character and embody kind of that role and create that character, because then it often feels that I will kind of sync up with them when I'm playing as them, and I really love that. So it's been a really fun experience, but what happened to Chase was not fun. It was really sad, my friends. I cried. It happened. I was surprised and shocked and heartbroken, even though I knew it was kind of coming, because Chase told us he couldn't use his powers again or he would die. So I think he's gonna die now. Rest in peace. Unless I'm wrong. I kind of hope I'm wrong. However, how we even has survived the explosion when we were inside Mecha Man, that felt impossible to me too when that happened. So I don't know, maybe Chase can make it. Maybe some superhero magic will save the day and somehow he will just survive because he is tougher than he thinks, or he had a little bit left in his heart. There's something, I don't know. But I also feel Chase's sacrifice, we gotta pay a price there. So if he doesn't die, it wouldn't be great for storytelling. I think it needs to happen. Next, this is coming down to the big spicy theory, and then I have one more to add on. It's a little bonus for you. I believe, going back to episode 1, that there was someone else when we were fighting Toxic and fighting Shroud, and that person was Invisigal. I think Invisigal was there, and I think when Toxic says that line, "Now get out of there, babe," he's talking to Invisigal. After all, we didn't see who put the bomb on our back, so it could be someone that's invisible, There's a part of me that also feels like it could be Blonde Blazer, but I just don't have enough evidence to support that. And then the other thing is that Invisigal mentions growing up around villains and kind of having this tough life and being surrounded by villains. And I'm just like, maybe Invisigal's been in with Shroud the whole time. I mean, maybe she's trying to get out of it. I do think genuinely she cares about Robert. And I do think that Shroud was willing to let her die, possibly because she did betray the team. But I do think she was there at the beginning. I felt this way since I met her. Of course, take this with a grain of salt, maybe, as someone who is coming from the camp of Blonde Blazer being my main love interest in the game. But I think both are good love interests. I think also both could betray us in some way, as love interests in these kind of games tend to do. And then my little bonus theory here is just that we do have a moment when we play as Mecha Man where Chase asks us, you know, when we get to Shroud, what's our plan? What are we going to do? Are we going to kill him? Are we going to spare him? Do we not know what we're going to do? I said I didn't know because I honestly don't know what I'm going to do yet. I'm still deciding. Heroes don't kill, but Shroud has really messed up her life. So I think at the end of the game, you're going to have the option to become a villain by killing Shroud. And I think when you become Shroud, you'll lock in and now you are the new villain. And you'll kind of like take Shroud's place in some way. Not like become the new Shroud literally, but more, you know. But I mean, spiritually, you would inherit that role. Morally, after you kill someone, it makes you a villain. Most superhero stories are like that. I want to know what you're thinking of this game down in the comments below. Are you loving it? Are you not loving it? Are you not even playing it? And if so, wow, you made it all the way through to this point in the video. I feel like there were a lot of spoilers in it. So, hey, hope you still play the game because it's really, really good. That's all I have for this one. And until next time, you stay nerdy. Bye. Also, if you like it when I talk about superhero games, you should check out this video. I just did a tier list video where I went through all of the Marvel Rivals heroes and let you know my thoughts on how good they are in that game. And I got a lot of thoughts.